another strong day for the GTII asset. Let's go ahead and go over the potentials for the coming days. What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by once again. This is ARCa coming at you with a GTII technicals, raw price action, and statistical threat of analysis on this happy Monday. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share the video with a friend so that you and them could consider joining our trading community in Discord called ARCa Bulls. With that said, let's dive right into the charts. All right, so we're looking at GTII on the 4-hour chart here, and as you can see, we actually have another very strong day cataloged of green candles here, still within our chop zone here between the 1.618 and the 1.272. But no problem, it's still looking very promising. All right, so let's go ahead and continue on the analysis here and take a look at this. Okay, so very interesting price action here as we did come right back down to the mean, which is $1.67 before that bounce to the upside, right? So you can go ahead and hover over this candle here and you can see the valuations of the candles right up here, right? So the low would be the one, right? So go ahead and notice that the low is 167 coming right down to the algorithmic mean that our ARC reversion variant indicator is showing us. Okay, so very interesting for us to bounce right off of that mean for an upside continuation. Okay, so statistically speaking here, let me just block the visibility for the ARC reversion variant and remind you that we are looking at a continuation to the upside. I mean, mathematically speaking, right? So we've actually taken a test over the last 7 years of the 5-day chart for the GTII asset, and you're looking at about 9 iterations, of which 8 were guessed correctly to the upside regarding volatility versus momentum. Okay, so you're looking at an averaged upside accuracy of 88.89% to the upside, with an averaged upside thrust of 183.05%. Over the span of about 25 3/4 days. Now, the signal already fired. This is just to remind everybody, right? Whoever is new to the channel. The signal already fired, and it's been days and days already. So the upside target that this would essentially take us to would be around $3.62, of which can. I mean, anything is possible in the markets, right? But I just want to say that statistically speaking, then yes, that the historical data is suggesting for us to make that move, right? So what usually happens is that whenever volatility expands into critical volatility right up here within the 90 percentile and starts a contraction phase, that paired with the stochastic momentum pivoted towards the upside has actually, you know, resulted in several iterations to where some of them were guessed correctly to the downside. I'm sorry, to the upside, and some of them were guessed correctly to the upside, right? So the data set, or all these samples, came up with this data set right over here, and this is how we were able to determine 183% to the upside. Okay, so that move would essentially be completed once we reach that $3.62 zone. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the next chart and see what we have, because it is still suggesting some upside here, right? So yeah, let's look at now the 3-day statistical backtest. And as you can see here, volatility is still in that contraction phase, and we are still suggesting an upside continuation on that 3-day time frame, which is very healthy now. And now we are approaching the bullish control zone. Okay, so this is a very good thing. And go ahead and notice that we did respect that regression trend line here. Okay, so very curious price action happening on the 3-day, as the 3-day does essentially give us the biggest opportunity that is currently visible, right? I'm talking about historical data. Statistically speaking, I am not talking about anything other than just what the math is suggesting. Okay, you guys, so definitely notice here that we're still kind of chopping around this zone here, testing the newly converted resistance into a support from this symmetrical triangle, which could actually be a pennant, right? The pennant happens after an uptrend, and it's usually considered to be a continuation formation. So if it is created after an uptrend, then this formation itself suggests a continuation to the upside. Of course, if it was made after a downtrend, then it would be a continuation formation to the downside, of course. All right, so now the statistics for the 3-day volatility versus momentum backtest are the same conditions. Okay, so anytime that we have expanded into critical volatility 90 percentile or within the 90 percentile and started a contraction phase paired with stochastic momentum pivoted towards the upside. I have taken note of that iteration's duration, the iteration's upside thrust versus the amount of times that volatility versus momentum have guessed the upside correctly versus incorrectly. Okay, so that again, it's pretty much the same samples that we've gathered from the 5-day backtest, right? So in this case, throughout the entire trading history on the 3-day chart, you're looking at 31 total iterations, of which 21 were guessed correctly to the upside, giving us an average upside accuracy of 67.74%, with a massive upside thrust of 971.33% over just 22 and a half days, right? So that statistical backtest, remember, these are not numbers to be taken as certainties whatsoever, okay? They are statistics. Okay, so this is pretty much just talking about the probabilities here, okay? So nothing to do with factual information, as you know that the stock market does not guarantee anything whatsoever, okay, you guys? So yeah, definitely notice that we still have an upside bias here for the 3-day momentum and still contracting. So that is still, I mean, this is still in that statistical the statistical averages, right? So it's still within that metric and it's still within that trend. So there could be a continuation to the upside here. Okay, so this is just what I'm really not calling anything. I'm just telling you what the indicators are saying and what the back test is, right? Just what the math is saying. So let's go ahead and refer to the RSI and look at the 30-minute immediate short-term time frame. And go ahead and notice here that we still have a little bit of consolidation to go on a 30-minute immediate short-term. That's it's not bad. It's just we may get a little bit of consolidation in a lot of assets in respects to the Fed chair Powell, Jerome Powell. He's going to be announcing the rate hike tomorrow. Okay, so go ahead and notice that the 4-hour is still suggesting consolidation. We do have an upside thrust here on the 8-hour, and it may very well succeed it. Okay, and now I'm not telling you like for sure it's going to do it. I'm just telling you that the probabilities of us exceeding the 14-day simple moving average are a little greater in this particular situation because of this reason here. Please notice that the 14-day simple moving average, represented by this pink line, is sitting right at the gravitational zone of the bull weakness percentile. Okay, so that usually tends to bring the RSI signal or gravitationally pull it right into the bull strength. Okay, so this is it's a very important metric to look at. Okay, so the last time we talked about the daily time frame, we were implying that this could be the next day's action, right? And please go ahead and notice that, of course, we failed, right? We failed it just like we said. And then we recovered and used it as a bounce and as a support before a continuation to the upside. And that's exactly what happened. Okay, so sometimes we're able to see these things, right? So it's no problem whatsoever. So now we can go ahead and get rid of this arrow and everything will be cool. Okay, you guys. So go ahead and now notice that we do have a support from the 14-day simple moving average right down here on the bi-daily chart, which is actually using it and now suggesting an upside. Okay, so just know that I don't like these little upside pivots. I would like a better validation for a continuation, right? So in these events, sometimes what this could be suggesting is a little bit of consolidation here. Okay, similar situation here with the 5-day, still with a consolidation bias, which only tells me that these larger time frames, just like I said before, are very much dependent on the influence from the shorter time frames, and they are playing a pretty important role now, and they're looking very promising actually. So very likely we can, very likely we can continue, and I can favor the bulls in this situation. Okay, guys. So please remember, I'm not a financial advisor. Take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy or sell any assets whatsoever. Okay, you guys, I need you to do your own due diligence and everything will be just fine. Okay, so with that said, go ahead and refer to the links in the description below. And I wish you well, a very good night, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios.